Does Florida's new law mean doctors and EMTs can watch people die? The Florida law will be superseded by some federal law, including EMTLA. Emergency rooms that take Medicare, Medicaid will not be able to refuse for emergencies, which is basically all of them. And I can't imagine federal civil rights legislation won't run up against some refusals. The only thing you might see I can imagine is private practice offices refusing new patients for whatever reason. The main one likely being primary care offices and gynecologists, urologists refusing trans patients to avoid the difficulty they might perceive. The law actually prohibits discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. It just seems like there's one group they forgot to protect. That's not exactly how it's worded, but in practicality, yes. Quote, B. Conscience-based objection means an objection based on a sincerely held religious, moral, or ethical belief. Conscience with respect to entities is determined by reference to the entity's governing documents. Any published ethical, moral, or religious guidelines or directives, mission statements, constitutions, articles of incorporation, bylaws, policies, or regulations. It says so on page 5 of the bill, lines 135 through lines 145. The bill explicitly says services cannot be refused based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. It says so on pages 7 and 8 of the bill, lines 202 through 206. The bill explicitly says emergency services cannot be refused. The bill does not permit your example. The bill is only 9 pages. There's 28 lines per page, 239 lines total and 810 words per line, all in plain English. Several of those pages are definitions of words in the bill, so there's absolutely no confusion as to what it means. I read the entire bill in under 15 minutes, taking time to read parts for clarity. In extremely clear English it says your example is not permitted. I would suggest you read the 9-page document so you know what it says instead of believing what strangers on the internet tells you, including me. I sincerely doubt the vast majority of people who will reply to you didn't bother to read the bill. I took 15 minutes out of my day to read it to answer your question. I sincerely hope you take 15 of yours to read it and fully understand what it allows. It's obvious who the bill is intended to harm. Trans people seeking healthcare, other LGBTQ people seeking healthcare, women seeking abortion or even birth control, etc. But it is written so poorly that pretty much everyone is vulnerable. I disagree with this, is basically a free excuse to not help or even touch a specific person. Could be just about anything, even malicious compliance. Ooh, Nazi tattoos. No treatment for you. Ooh, a Republican. No likey. No treat. It's an absurd bill that helps no one and has clear intentions to harm specific groups of people, while not protecting any other groups. As for insurance, it's just as much a free-for-all. Let me start by saying I think this bill is monstrous and has no place in American society. But the bill seems to state that they notify their supervisor in writing or document the conscience-based objection to a particular healthcare service, the patient's medical file. I take this to mean they can't refuse to treat someone outright. But they can do something along the lines of refusing to prescribe PrEP for HIV prevention because premarital, homosexual sex is wrong. They would still have to treat them for something like a broken leg. Of course, this also means pharmacists can refuse to fill that Viagra order for Mr. Can't Get It Up anymore because they believe male impotence is God's way of saying you shouldn't have children. It's going to get really messy. Laws are used, and laws are misused and abused as well. I think the latter is going to happen a lot with this very ambiguously written law. Fuck Ron DeSantis, everyone should leave that POS state. Hospitals are required by the law to treat patients walking in the emergency department to treat and stabilize patients regardless of their ability to pay, race, gender, or anything else due to the EMTLA. EMTLA stands for Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act. However, once the patient is stabilized, they can be transferred to a different hospital or be discharged. It's literally against the law to turn away any patients needing what is deemed emergency care, whether they're for or non-profit. If a doctor refuses to help someone when they're dying, they should be stripped of their license. Just my personal opinions. Even based off skin color. No, it doesn't. It has specific protections for stuff like that. It seems to be targeting trans people in particular, but perhaps with a side of orientation. It's also not any reason. The threshold, which can be a very low one, which is a problem, is a sincerely held religious, moral, or ethical belief. What is the name of the bill? They don't have to watch. Don't worry, you'll still get a bill. Wouldn't doctors' Hippocratic oath prevent this? Does the law prevent the licensing board from taking its own actions against such behavior? My question is, can an EMT who is called for a drug overdose refuse to provide naloxone? There will also be professional codes of ethics that require professionals to behave differently. But within the law, medical professionals have to worry about ethics boards just as much, if not more, than state laws. Plenty of things are legal, but the ethics board can revoke a license for unethical behavior, even if the behavior is legal. If the wallet biopsy reveals terminal poverty or incurable zip code, they can just throw them out of the ambulance.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.